Hello, I'm Cheyenne.
And I'm Frankie.
And this is Conbini
Conbini
Cult.
Cult.
Welcome
Woo.
to the newest episode. Woo!
Woo.
So we're trying something new today where I started the intro. And how'd I do?
Good job.
Good job. It only took two
Two
takes.
tries.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's good. I got really nervous. I'm so used to Frankie doing it. So thanks for letting me do the intro today.
No problem.
Yeah.
So today we want to talk about more work stories, but also get into some specifics about non-teaching jobs because, all foreigners here are not English teachers. There's so many other types of jobs that people do.
Contrary to popular belief, yeah.
Yes. And not all foreigners speak English.
No.
That's another one
We
too.
can get into that guy, that TikTok.
Oh.
Yeah.
If we have time.
If we have time,
Or maybe
yeah.
on the next episode.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay, sounds good.
We'll see. But should
Yeah.
we get into some life updates before we
Yes.
dive into the work stuff?
Sure, let's do it. Do you want to go first? Anything new happening for you? Any updates?
Kind of. I don't remember if I already shared this on a life update before, but I booked my flights back to the States for September.
Ooh, USA. USA.
First time in 5 years. It's going to be
Sheesh.
interesting.
Yeah, so both of us, I guess, went back for the first time in a long time. And may we ask, where are you flying to or what part of the U.S.?
New York and New Jersey.
Very nice.
My family's in New Jersey, but I went to school in New York, so I feel like my life was there when I was in the States, but the family is in New Jersey and Philly.
Yeah, and how was that flight? Like the cost of the flight and everything?
It was so cheap,
What?
actually.
What? Why?
It was like Juman per person.
Why?
100,000 yen.
Yeah, that's so
I have
cheap.
no
Why?
idea. It was so cheap.
Is
So
no
we
one trying
booked
to...
it
Because like New
immediately.
York, you're flying like into JFK.
Into JFK.
Why is it? Is it because it's summer? I wonder. Because I went to when I visited Tennessee. I mean, I had to fly into Charlotte, North Carolina, and that was like need-you on per person, or
Really?
like almost need-you go-ish. Yeah, so
Damn.
about 200,000 per person yen.
Yeah. That's
And,
how much I paid to go to Amsterdam, but that was a
Right.
direct flight.
And that like makes sense because it's direct. It's like
Yes.
to, I don't know, a cool place. Like I don't know who's flying to Charlotte, North Carolina for that expensive. I don't know if I went at a bad time or what, but that's nice. That's good. You went for 100,000, or you could go for 100,000. Yeah,
Yeah,
haven't
that's
gone yet, but
cheaper.
yeah.
Because, I mean, if you convert it to USD at the moment, it's like $650
Which
or like
sounds really cheap to
$700.
go to that side of the U.S. from Japan because
Yeah.
you have a lot of transfers, right?
Just one transfer in Tokyo because you can't fly directly from New York
Oh,
to Osaka.
to Osaka.
Yeah.
I see. I wonder-
But that's like cheaper than I paid in 2019.
Yeah, I wonder,
believe
actually, is it because it's almost direct? Like you're just going directly from Tokyo to JFK? I don't know. My journey, because I have so many stops and stuff, that's probably why it's expensive, but that's nice. That's a good deal. What the heck?
Yeah, no complaints
Maybe I
there.
should go. Yeah. I think to Hawaii, I looked recently and it's almost Juman or so as well. And that's like a
that a
7-hour
normal
flight.
price?
I would say pretty normal. It feels like it was a lot cheaper when I went like a few years ago or the last time I went back home. But I don't know if it's because the yen is changing or if it's I'm looking at a wrong season or whatever. But everything just feels more expensive this year, I think, because I'm thinking about the weak yen in general. But it just sucks
It's
how,
true.
like, distance-wise, you're going so much farther, but it's almost the same price to go to Hawaii versus JFK, New York. So have fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything crazy planned? What you gonna eat? What you gonna do?
Still thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, like New York pizza, Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah, that sounds good. I've
Yeah.
never been to New York, so I don't even know, like, what to do or imagine. I just think of, like, Friends, which is probably what everyone thinks, so...
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever, like,
I don't know.
sitcom that takes place in New York City, that's, like, the only image or the only thing I can think of like, what it looks like. And, like, Law and Order.
Law and Order.
Yeah, which I'm currently watching. I think I'm on season 19 now. So wish me luck.
Yeah.
I think it's still going. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
it is summer in Japan right now, which means
Yeah.
it's festival season. I mean, there's festivals year round, but a lot of them happen in the summer.
Yeah.
But you were in a festival.
Yay! Washoy, washoy!
Washoy.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
What was the festival?
So if you are in the Kansai or Osaka area and you are familiar with the gal mikoshi or the gyaru mikoshi, that's what I was in. I just realized, has my voice improved a little bit since the last time we recorded? Has it gone back to normal?
A lot. Almost
You don't
back
sound
to normal.
like shit anymore.
No,
Okay.
it just sounded painful.
It maybe to your ears, but like it wasn't painful on my throat or anything.
Okay.
But if you guys have listened or watched to the previous episodes, my voice is a lot raspier in those, and that was just the aftermath of doing the gyaru mikoshi. I did that for one whole day, and then in Osaka there's also the Tenjin Matsuri or Tenjin Festival, and I also carried a mikoshi for the final 2 days of that.
What's a mikoshi?
Yeah, a festival as well. So
listeners.
mikoshi, what is a mikoshi? It's a portable shrine, basically. And depending on, I guess, what kind of shrine it is or what kind of god you're celebrating or whatever, the design is different. The heaviness of it is different. When I carried the gyaru mikoshi, because it's limited to just gyaru, like gals,
is it
aka
smaller?
all women. It's a lot smaller than your typical mikoshi, and it's a lot lighter. One mikoshi overall for the gyaru mikoshi, it's 200 kilograms, and 20 of us carry it. So it's still really heavy. But if you compare it to, I guess, a typical mikoshi usually carried by men, I want to say theirs is like a ton or 400 kilos, something like that. But it was very fun. It's a really good experience. You have to apply for it online, actually. And then if you pass that application, then you get to like an interview stage and you have to kind of audition for it. And so I was lucky enough to be able to do it last year, and I had so much fun. I did it again this year, and I think I will do it again next year if my body doesn't break by then, because I will be 30, and that's the last year you can actually do it for Gahamikoshi. There's an age limit, which is but other than that,
yeah, because I was looking into it and I was like, oh, never mind.
I think last
I'm
year
over 30, I can't do it.
Last year would have been perfect for you, because so usually it's from ages 15 to 30. And then back in 2019, that was the last one. And then COVID hit, right? So they couldn't do it for 4 years or for 3 years. So last year was the first time they restarted it since COVID. So they extended the age limit to 33. Because basically anyone turning 30 in that 2020 year, they were like, I missed my chance. So they extended it, for that last year, and then it went back to 30 this year. So,
oh man,
yeah. But you could do Tenjin Matsuri. Yeah, do Tenjin Matsuri.
Okay.
If you're like really interested, maybe I can like invite you or something, and we can do it. There was like some random guy from Texas this year who like carried in my same team, and he just showed up for that day. So I don't know if he got invited by someone who has been doing it for a long time. I don't know. So they're not like closed off or anything. Come carry the mikoshi. We can be like Washoi girls together.
Okay, so my dream is
not crushed.
Still alive, actually.
It's still alive. It's just dead for if you want to be a ghetto in the mikoshi.
Okay.
Yeah. Frankie made a cool video about it. So you should go check it out. Yeah. Thank you for coming to see me and us.
You're welcome. So I went last year and this year.
Yeah. Which one did you, I don't know, like better? I think we talked about it. Did you feel like it was as crazy this year as last year? I don't know. Last year seemed more hectic to me.
But it was on a weekend last year.
Yeah.
So it was more busy. But I feel like my footage was better last year though, because this year the plan of like where I wanted to shoot kind of got messed up. Like I went to the, what was it, Tenma Shrine?
Oh yeah, Tenmangu.
Osaka Tenmangu,
Yeah,
that one.
Tenmangu.
So I was standing in the wrong place, so I completely missed it when you guys were doing like the Washoi thing in front of the stage, the
main shrine
the main part.
area. I'm not familiar. Sorry. Yeah.
So
bummer.
Yeah.
But you did come, and then you waited for an hour in the final area, right? Only to be blocked, right?
Apparently, I chose a really good spot because at the very last minute, after I was waiting there for a while, the TV crew like camped out right in front of me.
Yeah, Frankie sent me a picture, and it was just like this sweaty TV
man
crew dude
with a
like
ladder
standing
and
in
a
front
huge
of her.
camera.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I appreciate
I
it.
still like because he was moving around, so I was still able to get good footage.
You guys were doing the like crisscross, like back and forth with each other.
Yeah, but I really wanted the footage at the shrine, so gotta go back next year.
Guess you gotta come back next year and wait in the hot sun. It's only getting hotter. But yeah, that was that. That's my life update. I did a matsuri. It was hot.
Yes.
And I'm tired. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. All right. Moving on.
Shall we talk about jobs?
Yes, jobs. So what kind of jobs?
Well, do you have any friends who work outside of English teaching? Like anybody with an interesting job?
Yeah, I know a couple
Foreigners.
of friends. Yeah. It's funny because I know they're not English teachers, but I just also don't know what they do specifically.
Okay.
But I have a couple of examples if we want to get into it later, or did you want to start off with some examples now?
Oh, maybe one or two examples now, if you have any.
One of them I know so she's an illustrator and like a clothes designer, so I wore like one of her clothing a few episodes back. So she came to Japan and started off as an English teacher. And then I know she has experience working at the Apple store. She was in, I forget what department she was in there, but she worked for Apple. So that's a non-teaching job. And then now she moved up and I think she teaches art and design at a university. So she's
that's really cool.
a teacher, but not of English or anything. She just strictly teaches art. Yeah. So, and now she has the time to illustrate more and sell like her products, and she does pop-ups and everything. So she's like a business owner and art teacher, I would say. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Any examples do you have? Do you know anyone?
I have a friend who is a fashion designer.
Fun. Okay.
Yep. And then I know somebody who is in IT as well.
Nice.
Programming. Are they the same thing?
I don't know. You're asking
she's a
wrong
programmer.
person. Okay.
She's
cool.
a programmer. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that.
We taught together, and then she went
see.
into more of like her field
Cool.
of programming.
And another one, I know it's like very vague, but like I feel like there's a lot of people in marketing here, which I like.
Yeah.
But then I don't know like what specifically that means. But yeah, there's a lot of people in marketing in Japan too.
Yeah. One of my friends had a marketing job for like, not the same job, but in the marketing field for about 8 years.
Okay. Yeah. So there's all kinds of jobs you can do that aren't teaching related here.
Yeah. So I actually asked on Instagram 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Because I was just curious what kind of jobs people have.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just sent me like what their job title was.
And I'm surprised you saved them.
I saved the screenshots. So I put it into an Excel sheet.
Look at you.
So we can just, because it's like a big list. So we can just read them off.
Cool.
Do you want the purple or the green?
I'll do purple.
Okay.
Okay, so to start off, the first one was a recruiter. Yeah, hear that a lot.
Animator.
Ooh, architectural designer.
Okay, maybe along the same lines.
Yeah.
Actually, no, not. User experience designer and researcher. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, a lot of these I'm not too sure how to explain them. So if you know what they mean specifically or have a solid like example, please drop a comment below. Okay.
Yeah.
The next one is a manufacturer. So they said it's a very common job in the Brazilian side of immigrants. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I do know this was someone I met through like BTS events in Japan, but she is Brazilian and was living in Kanazawa, and she worked at a factory.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, the old town I used to live in when I first came to Japan, there was a factory there too, and we had a lot of immigrants working in the factory as well. Yeah. Cool. Alrighty.
Okay. There's one person who was an administrator at an international grad school.
Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, I want to get into like
that must be interesting.
Yeah, like student advising for studying abroad and stuff like that. Like that could be really fun. Yeah. Someone said a performer, which is like dancing, modeling.
What kind of performer? I know
like
some
backup
people.
dancers.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things. I know some people who
Disney.
worked at USJ and Disney.
Yeah, USJ, Disney. My mom did in the
Oh,
90s.
really?
Yeah, she was a performer at Tokyo Disneyland. So yeah,
Oh,
that checks
that's
out.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, someone else is a writer and translator at a publishing company.
Sounds cool.
Man,
Sounds stressful.
that would have been my dream
A
a
translator.
few years ago.
Oh, at a publishing
At a
company.
publishing
Yeah,
company,
that's
too.
right.
Yeah, because when I was in university, that was my dream. But
Sorry to like backtrack, but I feel like that's such a New York kind of job.
it is, but it's such a hard industry to break into.
I feel like any boss babe in New York and like whatever
Yes.
TV series or whatever, they're always in like publishing or like writing
Yeah.
or something
It sounds
like
so
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Because I love reading, so I was like, I need to work at a publishing company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But spoiler alert,
You did
I
not.
didn't.
Oh.
but I really like what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
so
you're doing something I think much cooler.
I can still read
Publish.
anytime. I guess I could
read.
publish.
Yeah.
I could still
Why
read.
not? Here's the thing. I'll write a book and then you can publish it. Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
You want to write a book?
I would like to one day, yeah, before I die. I just need to do like cooler things. So maybe I should stop
Cool.
working
Live
like
life a little
1,000
bit.
jobs.
Get
yeah,
out
and
there.
like get out
Get
there and
some
live a life.
experience for the book.
Yeah, and then I'll write a book for Frankie to publish. That's all I'll do. And then I can die happy.
Okay.
All right. The next one is a graphic designer and marketing manager in a very small Japanese restaurant company. Okay.
Interesting.
And they wrote very with like 12 E's.
Very small company.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Consulting.
Is that the same thing as recruiting? Honest question, I'm not sure.
It's not recruiting,
Okay.
but it's
What do you
like
consult?
isn't consulting like advice driven? Like
I don't
advising
know.
businesses how to do their marketing or their
Oh, I
sales,
see.
that kind of thing. I think
Maybe.
if you're in consulting, let us know and correct us.
Yeah, I don't know. The next one was marketing. Came up again.
There we go.
Right, yeah.
Research scientist.
Ooh, cool. Biomedical engineering. Badass.
That probably pays well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Software engineering.
Yeah. Overseas sale for a traditional Japanese company. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah.
And on a similar note, overseas sales and marketing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Someone is a mechanic. That's really cool.
Would like to hear more about that.
Yeah, actually, I want to see. And hopefully you guys can explain shaken. Have you ever, do you drive? Or like, it's not.
Inspection?
Yeah, it's like an inspection you have to do every, like 2 years or 3 years. And it's expensive depending on how old your car is and how big your car is and stuff. Yeah. That's the one thing I don't miss about driving was like paying for car expenses too.
Yeah. I don't own a car
Yeah.
anymore, so
I think in Osaka we don't need one. Yeah.
no more shaken.
Okay.
Okay, somebody said, actually, no, backtrack for a second.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about like the Japanese level that you might need for certain jobs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be
'Cause I
helpful,
think-
probably.
I think a lot of the ones that we're talking about,
Yeah.
I mean, not all of them, but a
Yeah.
lot of them you would need some proficiency in Japanese.
I assume so,
Like
yeah.
marketing, consulting, like all that kind of stuff. You would probably need to be
Yeah.
bilingual or at least have business level Japanese.
At least I would say so, yeah. Unless you're like a strictly like 100% foreign company or something that only operates in English. Like at least in your department that this person specifically is, maybe they can only speak English and that's fine. Yeah, I think it depends because I've met quite a few people here who are like in marketing or they're in the business field, but they don't speak Japanese at all. They really came here just for that one section or whatever of business they do. So I would say it depends. But if you're like an engineer here or a researcher, I assume you have to speak Japanese.
Maybe it depends what you're
opposite?
researching.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
like
that's true.
programming,
Mm.
IT stuff.
Yeah, I know.
It's
that
like
one's
they have
not
their
so
own
much,
programming
yeah.
language, so it, maybe just conversational might be fine, but it depends on the company.
You're like, you said programming language, and then all I thought is like, what are they? They're just like speaking in binary to each other.
Yes.
They're typing binary code to each other to communicate. Okay. Yeah. Are there anyone else? I would say factory, maybe like you don't need to be fully proficient in Japanese so much.
Probably
But
conversational.
yeah. Or like whatever your job entails, you need to know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I mean, of course, English teaching is a good way to start, but it's not a good long-term option for some people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of people are like, what's a job that I can get in Japan that's not English teaching where I don't need any Japanese? And that's kind of tricky.
It's tricky. I mean, if you don't have a certain degree or skill set, like...
Or, like, connections back home.
Yeah, because I would love to do something else, but my degree is specifically TESOL, like, and education and teaching. So I really limited myself with that one. You know, I can't just be like, well, I speak Japanese, so I can be an engineer in Japan. No. You know, so, yeah, I would say it depends on your skill set, for sure. Okay.
Yeah, because you're competing, like, especially in the case where you need a job to sponsor your visa, like you're competing for these jobs with native people, so you need to be bringing something to the table that would make this company want to give you the job and also sponsor you.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
I don't know. Anywho,
that's you.
That's me. Okay. Someone said there's a lot of Americans here who work as government contractors, and they put in parentheses USA jobs. Maybe that's a website.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Should I type it in?
Sure.
USA jobs.
Oh, like USA Jobs is a website? I see. Oh, yeah, it really did come up.
Okay, that's a website.
Oh, usajobs.gov. Good to know. And what does it do? It helps you, like, Americans specifically find jobs in Japan?
Yeah, but I think a lot of them are like military affiliated.
There's a lot of U.S. Army on there. Okay.
Yes.
Like program manager, cool. Where? Okinawa, on the military base. Like,
yes.
Architect, cool. Where? On Zama, the military base. So, I see.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
if you're in the military or interested in any military jobs, that's a good website for you, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's with all of these jobs, but I have a Filipino friend who was interviewing for a job at an American school, I think on an army base.
Oh, fun.
But they were not able to sponsor a visa for her because it's a like American government
so like
job.
You need to be a U.S. citizen to work there?
Not a U.S. citizen, but they can't sponsor visas.
Because it's
Japan.
a U.S. I see.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, maybe I'll get a job on base.
You want to be a mechanical engineer on base?
No, I'll be like a cafeteria worker at a school on base if that means I'm making USD, you know? Like, I'll do anything. Get access to, like, base food, the commissary. Any hookups, let me know.
All the Takis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as of August 2024, the yen is still weak.
So bad. Is it getting worse?
No, I think it's actually getting better.
Is it getting better?
A little bit.
So if I have USD, like, cash stocked up right now, would it be smart to convert it to yen, do you think, now?
Probably.
Or just keep it for my next trip home? I'm, like, really debating.
Depends when you want to go home, but I think maybe do it now because the yen seems to be getting a little bit stronger.
Okay, good to know. I'll go do that.
I don't know.
I'm gonna make a trip to the bank tomorrow.
Don't sue me if this
I
advice
know, right?
is not
As soon as
good.
if something messes up, I'm gonna call Frankie and be like, "You're sued."
Remember that
court.
podcast episode?
Yeah. Okay. This next submission was, they are a hydro turbine designer and have been in Japan for 11 years. So that was 2 years ago. So I guess 13 years now. Hydro turbine designer. That's crazy. Good for you.
That sounds very cool.
That's awesome. That's a very important job for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody else they have multiple jobs. One is a tour guide, and that job is in English.
Fun.
They also, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I wonder if all these people still have.
They've all quit. Yeah.
Are you guys still in Japan?
Are you here? Are you watching or listening?
I mean, the important part is that we know what types of jobs are out there.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Okay, so on top of being an English tour guide, they also worked at a bakery and as a bartender. And for both of those jobs, they use Japanese.
Very cool. I'm very curious because, like, tour guide, I understand. Let's say if you're in Japan under a specialist in humanities visa, that makes sense, right? If you're working, like, as a bartender and stuff, do you need a separate visa for that? Or I guess unless you're a bartender in English or under the table or something, I don't know.
The specialist in humanities visa is pretty broad,
Yeah.
actually. So you can do freelance work on
Yeah.
top of your visa sponsoring job.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Assuming this person had a work visa.
Yeah,
They could have been on something else.
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is their husband is a rugby coach. So I assume he's here for work and then they're on a dependent visa or something. That's fun.
I wonder if that was an Olympics thing.
Yeah. With Olympics or Rugby World Cup? Which one was 2 years ago? Yeah. Or which one was sooner? Yeah. Ooh, fun. You guys still here? Okay, cool.
Okay. All right. Somebody else was a pastry chef / barista / coffee instructor.
Fun.
That's cool.
I want to do something like that. Just do some barista stuff. Yeah, it sounds fun. Make coffee. Okay. Someone is a qualified subject teacher at an international school. So they don't teach English. They probably teach math, science, something else, PE. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Fun.
Okay. I worked as a sub manager at a hotel for 4 years. Trip planning producer now.
Now, 2 years ago. So who knows what they're doing
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Fun. I wonder what it's like to work in a hotel in Japan, too.
I have a friend who did it and it was really stressful.
Oh, really? Because
But
they were busy or because of, like, customers made it stressful?
I think both, but it might depend on how prestigious the hotel is.
I would say how prestigious the hotel is and, like, where that hotel is located, too.
True,
Like, let's say
yeah.
you're working in a prestigious hotel in, like, Kyoto now.
Yeah, that.
Hell no.
I don't think I could do it.
Yeah. I don't think
I'm
so.
not cut
There's
out for
so
that.
many people here now. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Ooh, someone is a promotion and export of Japanese tea.
Nice.
Doing,
Okay.
what's it called? Sado.
Yes.
Have you ever done sado?
Yes.
Are you a fan?
Yeah, I like it.
That doesn't
I'm
sound
not-
convincing.
Well, I like the experience of it, but I don't think I'm dedicated enough to make a tea room in my house or something like that.
That's true. You have to, like, turn it, right? Before you drink it and all that stuff. It's very
Lots of steps.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps to it. Cool.
Yeah.
But try it. It's a good experience. All right.
Okay. Web developer.
Please keep developing because websites in Japan are,
Yeah.
they need developing. Okay.
City Hall needs you.
Yeah, for real. Speaking of City Hall, someone is in town promotion and development at a countryside town hall. Fun.
Yeah.
That sounds
must
really
be
fun.
nice.
Yeah. I worked in like a government office once and it wasn't in the Inaka like countryside, it was more city side and it was like whatever. But I can see how working in more of a smaller town hall could be more fun. So that sounds good. Let us know if you're still doing that. Okay.
Okay. Quality assurance at a pharmaceutical company.
Very important job. Sounds like it pays a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah. This person is a hairdresser. Very fun. I wonder if they're like, they work in and, well, let's say you speak English or another language besides Japanese. I wonder if they work at like an international hair salon or something. Yeah.
If it's the person I'm thinking of who responded with this, they do work at an international place.
There you go. What's that big one now? I see it like all over Instagram reels and stuff. Assort?
I've never heard of it.
them?
No.
Oh, they do like a lot of reels of before and afters and stuff. Anyway. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
You
I do know that
Assort?
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the stylists there, like I knew him before he worked at that place.
Okay.
And then I saw him all over my like explore page.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I know him.
Yeah. So they do a lot of like, obviously, you know, they're in Japan or their main branch is in Tokyo, so they do like Japanese consulting too. But a big thing they do is like international clients and like a lot of business in English as well. So they'll do like videos of all of the sold on like of the consultation, and then they'll do like that before and after. So they have that in Tokyo. They have one in Osaka actually. I like work close to the
do
site
they?
in Osaka. Yeah.
Isn't there an Australia branch as well?
Probably Australia. There's like a Sydney branch, and I want to say Hong Kong too,
Cool.
and Amsterdam, I think. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It seems
Which you were just there in Amsterdam, right?
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. It seems like a good salon.
It is, yeah.
And I know the stylist that I'm thinking of. He does like really cool cuts.
Yeah. I went to the Osaka one once, and they were really, really good, and they did a good job like understanding what I wanted and stuff. And I think international hair salons are also really good too, especially if you like, let's say, what is trending right now, like a haircut, like the Sabrina Carpenter bangs or like curtain bangs.
Don't call me out every time I go to the hair
No,
salon.
that's what I asked for too.
I show a picture of her.
I show a picture of her. I mean, I like pinned mine back this time, but
yeah, it's
I
summer.
showed a picture of her.
I don't want my hair in my face.
Yeah, that. But I used to go to just like strictly Japanese salons, and this was like 4 years ago. But I would ask for like curtain bangs, and they didn't. Maybe I just like was bad at Japanese. I don't know, but they didn't really understand it. So going to places like Assort and stuff, if you just say like curtain bangs, they like know what you mean.
That's true.
Yeah, and I mean obviously hair texture and like trends and stuff are different depending like the country, and so yeah, I prefer to get my hair cut in a more American trendy way versus Japanese hairstyles.
Yeah. I think if it's just a trim, I go to a local place, but if I was going to do any color or any serious thing, I might try to find an international salon.
Yeah. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but do you ever get the razor, like the thinning razor to your hair?
Yes, that happened to me once, and it was completely unexpected because I have really fine hair. So no one has ever tried to thin out my hair before. Yeah. So when I realized what was happening, I was like,
did you say anything, or did you just wait till the end and then you looked in the mirror with tears and you're like, I love it?
Well, it was too late, but then the next time I went back for a trim, I was like, oh, by the way, like, no, we don't need to, like, the amount is fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And then they stopped,
And she said, oh, okay.
Yeah. By the way, I think those scissors, like the razor, the thinning scissors are called tsukibasami, if you're interested. I had to look it up because they do that to my hair all the time, and I have, like, thick hair-ish, but I like having a lot of hair and thick hair. I prefer not to thin my hair, so I think that's what it's called. But yeah, I ask for that now. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They usually say, like, what are they called?
Tsukibasami. Like,
Tsukibasami?
Okay. Like, sku is to, like,
I see.
And then hasami.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah. But they could also just ask, like, ryo.
Yeah, like, do you want to...
How's the amount
of hair? Yeah.
Yeah.
So... Anyway, sorry, that was a long
little tangent
about hairdressers. But yeah.
Yep.
This next person, that's you.
Yeah, we just have a few more. Somebody is an English textbook writer.
Ooh, have you written Let's Go or what are they called? Sunshine, New Horizons?
No.
Let me know. Yeah, I've used all of them.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, the next person said they are in proofreading and narrating. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, that sounds
narrating,
nice.
Like books, games.
That's true. It could be a lot of things, I imagine.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one said voice actor.
I don't know anybody. I know people who want to do voice acting, but I don't know anyone who's actually doing it.
Because they need like English speakers for certain, like I would say games and stuff, right? Yeah.
That's
or
true.
other language speakers. Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious. Yeah.
Okay. And there's also online customer support.
Ooh, stressful. Very cool. And I see you have another category here. So what's that about?
Oh, I forgot to say I categorized it into just like full-time or part-time jobs. And then there are a few people that talked about owning a business. So yeah, there's somebody who owned a restaurant.
Cool. Someone was a fashion designer. I think, is that your friend you were talking about? The fashion designer? Yeah.
Maybe. There could be.
That's right. I forgot
be
it
a
was
few
like
fashion
anonymous.
designers.
Okay.
And then if you want to count me, I'm technically a business owner. I have a production company.
Ooh, very nice.
But I also have a friend who I don't understand his company entirely. It has something to do with infrastructure.
Okay.
Which, I don't know, it sounds cool. But then he also recently started another project to use like seaweed to regenerate something.
Wait, is he like really famous? Like, has this been on the news before?
I don't think so. It's relatively new. Oh. But he's teaming up with seaweed farmers in Japan and the US to use seaweed as like a regenerative regenerative resource to like heal the oceans. Like you can use seaweed for a lot of things.
Oh.
I don't know.
Maybe
I can link his website.
Do it. Yeah, we should learn
you
about
want.
seaweed and stuff. Seaweed is very good for you. It has a lot of good iodine. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Good salts
Seaweed's
for you.
good in like a lot of unexpected ways.
I saw one thing about seaweed. I'm like really, really paraphrasing here, but something where scientists use seaweed to make like an alternative for plastic bags so they can
Yeah, that
decompose
could be one
naturally
way.
and stuff. So something like that too. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of, and then I like mixed
Maybe.
in your friend.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah. It's still a startup though, so I'm gonna be one of the first investors in this
Oh,
company.
fun, cool. Do you have any other investments in Japan? Just curious, because I don't know like anything about like
No.
stocks or investments or anything
Not in
like
Japan.
that. And you're like a business owner, so like
Yeah, I own a business.
yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe that's a good. We should bring in like an expert on stocks and try to explain it to. I want to say us, but mostly me, because I don't know what they are really. Yeah.
I don't know how it works in Japan, but I think the interest and stuff is lower here. I don't know. Or you can't invest as much money as you could potentially in the US. I don't know. Just like something about it makes it not as lucrative in Japan. So a lot of Japanese people invest in foreign stocks. I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know more details than that, but that is
okay.
what I know.
That's okay. We don't need to go into any more detail because I have no idea about any of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so-
We got a lot of good job submissions. That was fun.
Yeah, those
Learned a
are
lot.
the screenshots I have from 2 years ago.
Okay.
But there's a story I would like you to share
Okay.
about almost getting roped into something.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of jobs and working and making money, are you familiar with a pyramid scheme or MLM, aka multi-level marketing?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So in our experience, I'm going to just introduce first as, people from the US, MLMs and pyramid schemes have been around for a long, long time. And if you know what we're talking about, maybe you've received a random messenger DM from someone you went to high school with years ago, and they hit you with the "Hey babes, how'd you like to be your own boss?" kind of message, and then you realize it's an MLM. So I'm very familiar with that and like what they are, and I had an interesting experience trying to get roped into an MLM here in Japan, which I had no idea really existed, which might be kind of naive or silly to think, but did you know MLMs were like really big in Japan?
I mean, I think they're everywhere, but I hadn't really thought about it too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
Okay, so
you should tell your story.
I'll get
first.
into it. Yeah, so that's the main introduction. We're getting into MLMs now, but basically the approach was different, which is why I think I had the experience the way I did. So basically, to start from the beginning, I was hanging out with another friend. We were out drinking somewhere, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I came across this girl. We looked the same age at least, in the bathroom, and we did the exchange, like, hey, like, I'm drunk, you're cute, kawaii ne, okay, bye, and then that was it. We ran into each other again in the bathroom. So at that point we're like, okay, well, we're the same age, you're cool, I'm cool, let's exchange like instas. And so we decided like, well, I want to like hang out with you because we both live in the same city, we're the same age. She has been to the US before. I live in Japan, so it worked out. And so she invited me to go get some coffee, and that was fun. And we had a nice normal hangout, and I was very excited because since moving to Osaka, I have wonderful friends now and like tons of hobbies and things to do. But I still don't have many Japanese friends. And I'm always looking for, more friends and more Japanese friends and stuff. So I was very, very excited. And so after that little coffee date we had, I was like, cool, see you again. And then we scheduled another time to hang out and grab some coffee. And before meeting up, she said, do you mind if I bring another friend too? Her boyfriend is from the US. And I was like, cool, like more ladies, like more people to hang out with. And then she said she works for a company that has to do with like selling products, and she wants your input as a foreigner about like something to do with her company. So I was like, okay, I could help with that. Maybe they want to work on their marketing or something and like market more towards foreigners. I really didn't know what to think about that. And so I said, yes, sure, I will help out.
You thought it was a consulting thing.
Yeah, I thought it was consulting and marketing. But yeah, so I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'm a foreigner. I'll like, and I speak Japanese, so I can ask any questions you have, I guess. So we meet up for coffee. It's us three. So me, the original girl I met in the bathroom, and her friend. And we're talking and getting to know each other, answering all the basic questions. And then the third, like the girl I'm meeting for the first time, she says, okay, would you mind if I ask you some questions about like a certain company and my job? And I said, okay, yeah, because I knew this was coming. She brought out an iPad. And so I was like, oh, maybe she has visuals for me to understand better because I'm not a native Japanese speaker. And as she's going, she opens up the iPad. And I was like, that's extra, but okay, sure. She goes to the first slide, and it's about like health and wellness and like skincare, basically. And she's like, did you know like all these pressure points of the body and like your skin and elasticity and all that stuff? And I was like, yeah, I do skincare, sure. And then she asked me what my skincare routine is. And then she gets to the next slide where it's introducing all of these like creams and ointments and like skincare stuff. And again, I'm like, maybe she works for a skincare company and she's just introducing her company to me. So it's like more familiar when it comes time for me to get asked some like real questions. And then she starts talking about like her sales and like how much revenue or whatever she makes. And she asks me what my current job is, like kind of about my income, how much money I make, and if I'm satisfied with like my current income situation and what I want to do in Japan long term. And I explained to her, and she was like, okay, cool. How would you like to make more money? And I was like, oh, maybe it's coming. I'm not too sure. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. And she said, you can make this amount of money and be your own boss and be in control of your schedule. Doesn't that sound great? And I was like, oh, but again, it's all happening in Japanese, and I'm like non-confrontational to begin with, but to like be bombarded with all that stuff in person, because again, in my experience, it's always like a DM or something, and you can be like, you can ignore it or you can just say no and they move on. But it's like in person in another language, so I'm like frozen almost. I like don't know how to react, and so I'm just thinking like, oh cool, like I'm doing the typical like so omoshirou ii ne mitai, like giving her like positive reactions, which is like dumb to begin with. So anyway, she gets to like the end of her spiel and she's like, so what do you think? And I was like, I'm not too sure, like I don't know, really what you want from me almost. I was like still very hesitant what was going on. And then she asked about like my boyfriend and when it comes to me trying like new hobbies or new like business adventures or whatever, new jobs, she asked about his reaction towards it and about like how my family feels about me living in Japan and about my working situation. And at the time I was like, that's a nice considerate question. But now that I reflect, I'm like, oh, they're like gauging to see if I were to join an MLM, if people would try to stop me, like especially my boyfriend who is Japanese, who probably knows that this is an MLM, So I was just like, yeah, he's supportive, like whatever. And they were like, okay, great. And then they invite me to this lecture and I still can't say no.
You went to the lecture?
No, but I almost did. Like, so
Oh my God.
they were like, mind you, the original girl, like the girl I met in the bathroom, she's next to me the whole time listening to this lecture as if it's all new to her too. Maybe it is, like she works for MLM-A and other homegirl works for MLM-B, and they're kind of like partners, like, you know, they're like wing women for each other and like roping. I don't know. But she was like reacting as if like it was great and she had no idea what it was.
I think
and
that's
she
all
was
just
like,
part of
the what do you call it? The con.
The scheme.
Yeah, it's the scheme. It's the con. So mind you, she's like next to me, like, hey, like, いいんじゃない? 面白そう, like, looks so great. And so they invite me to this lecture, and I'm like, that's the next day, by the way, like after my working time. And I try, and I'm like, no, I might have work, like, I'm not too sure, like, I don't know if I can go. I'm, like, really hesitant because I can't say no. And then the original homegirl next to me, she's like, Iko, like, let's go. I'll go with you. Like, it sounds really fun, and I'm curious, too. So, like, we should go together. It won't be scary if, like, we go together. So then at that point, I'm like, okay. And I say no, like an idiot. So, yeah, anyway, I said no. Wait, did I just say I said no?
You said no.
No, I said yes.
But you didn't.
I did not. I meant to say no. I said yes. I'm so sorry. So I said yes, like an idiot. And so I said yes, and I said, okay, I'll see you tomorrow after work, you know. And then we part ways, and she was like, bye, like, it was so fun, see you. And then I go to my kickboxing gym where my boyfriend is also there, and all of my kickboxing teachers. And they were like, where were you? Like, how to go or whatever. And I explained, like, everything that I just talked about. And they were all like, bruh. Like, no, so in Japanese, it's called a nezumiko. Yeah. Like a nezumi is a mouse.
Like rat company.
Like, and the ko is like a lecture. Like koza or like juko to like take a lecture, so it's called nezumiko. And they're like, that's a nezumiko, like that's an MLM. What, like, you're not gonna go, right? And then so I like knew in the back of my head, but after hearing, you know, actual Japanese people kind of side with me and tell me like, yeah, it's a pyramid scheme, it's an MLM, like you should say no, you should block her, like you should not do all that stuff. That's when it was 100% clear in my mind, like, oh, I was like used almost, you know, I was like preyed upon. It felt very predatory and like, I don't know, very schemy. Like she saw a stranger in the bathroom, was like, she looks
gullible.
Yeah, like she looks gullible, or she looks like she could you know, join this MLM and make some money. The MLM that I'm talking about, by the way, is called New Skin. If you're familiar, I made a TikTok video about this. If y'all want to check it out later, I say all the same stuff. But in my TikTok comments, there was a lot of people who had the same experience as me. A lot of like girls in their 20s and 30s who moved to Japan, thought they were like making friends with like some Japanese people, and then they got like they tried to get like roped into this New Skin one specifically. So it sucks. It feels really predatory, and I felt like bamboozled. I don't know. I just like got taken advantage of almost. Thankfully, I didn't join. I called my mom about it, and I was like, I got like almost roped into this thing called New Skin, and my mom was like, what? And so, plot twist, my mom was in the New Skin MLM like when she was in her early 30s or something, because she like got roped into it and thought she could make some money and stuff. And hey, guess what? You can't really make money off of stuff like that. So my mom was in it, realized it was like a scam, and got out of it. But she still has a couple of the products. One thing I hear a lot is like the products are actually really good. I hear a lot of people say like, I'm like using the products, but I didn't join. So I'm like, okay, cool. Good on you. But anyway,
I don't know. I feel like if a product is that good, you don't need to be that sketchy about it.
Yeah, I've heard like people who are using the products, at least in like most of my comments, they bought it off of someone who was like in the New Skin MLM, but they just like bought the product as the product. So yeah, anyway, be careful. Don't join a Nezumiko or a MLM if that is not your goal. I don't know. Like it just feels so weird. Like I still can't believe that happened to me, but it was also kind of like sad and reassuring that so many other women in particular, like foreign women, also got roped into something like this? Like, has that ever happened to you where like not an MLM, but maybe something, a cult or a group of people or something? Like,
not to me personally, but my partner has like, he wasn't roped into one, but somebody approached him about it. So I think MLMs are primarily targeting women.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So it's mostly women, unfortunately. Like,
it's like
you
the
know,
Avon and everything
people
like that,
seeking community, people looking for work. But it's not all women. Yeah. So yeah, my partner, like, because he's a videographer. So one of his university friends or like a high school friend or something asked him to meet up to talk about a job opportunity. So my partner was thinking like, oh, maybe he needs a video made about something.
Yeah. A video about Nu Skin.
So they got lunch, and then this guy also like brought out the iPad and was talking about the whole like make your own schedule, be your own boss. And he was like, what are you wasting my time for?
Dude, it's always the be your own boss where you're like, like here it is. That's what it is. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I almost joined an MLM. Unknowingly, so be careful, please. And it's not just Nu Skin. There's like all kinds of MLMs out there in Japan. I noticed though, like maybe because Asia is like really known for its like skincare and beauty, a lot of them are about like very skincare, beauty related. I know back in the US, a lot of it is like diety, you know, like what was that, like Herbalife,
like hair care,
like stuff, which is still beauty and stuff, but the ones I looked at in particular here that were big in Asia was like Nu Skin. That's kind of the biggest one right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So
beware.
Watch out. Be aware. You know, say no. It's so much easier to like be like, why didn't you just say no, or like turn them down? But it's scary, like to take in so much information in your second language or third language and then think of an appropriate response, because I didn't want to misinterpret anything from the start, you know, especially if I like thought I had this new chance to make friends. So I felt very taken advantage of. Very silly. Like I just feel really silly and stupid. I cried.
But the stuff that led up to it was all pretty normal.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's like what really got me. It just
came out of left field.
Yeah. That's the, like, it really got me. So it was like, cool. Like I met someone so organically almost, you know, like, and then as soon as she like whipped out the iPad and gave a little lecture, I was like, like, yeah, it sucks. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
And if that is how you make money, no comment. Okay. No comment.
Because it's not going to be nice. Okay. I did. So last year, well, before I moved to Japan, I had reached out to some recruiting companies because I still wanted to work in finance. Okay. When I moved here, I know I'm talking about all these industries. I wanted to work in publishing, then I wanted to work in finance.
You're like a true like New York girly. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't successfully work in publishing. I had internships, but not like a full-time job. So I did work for a law firm, like as an admin, but it was in the realm of finance. Okay. So I wanted to kind of stay in that industry when I first moved to Japan. So I met with recruiters and that didn't really work out either. I ended up teaching English. Yeah. But some of these recruiting companies still email me sometimes with work opportunities. Yeah. So for one of them, I replied and I was like, I'm not really looking for a job right now, but I'm kind of curious what's going on in the recruiting world these days. So if you wouldn't mind just scheduling a meeting with me, could we chat about like what types of jobs are in demand, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So this was last year, keep in mind. But yeah, he basically said that before it was a lot of IT stuff that they were really looking for people to work in that industry. Yeah. But then it kind of got oversaturated a bit.
That's what I feel like, yeah.
Yeah. So now what's in our hospitality jobs, they really need people for those types.
They need people to handle all of that over tourism for sure. Yeah. I see hospitality like in hotels or tour guides or just like anything hospitality. Yeah. Good to know.
Yeah. So if you are looking for a job, maybe that would be an industry to look into.
Yeah.
Hospitality.
There you go.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Okay, I have a few Reddit stories too. This is going to be a very long episode, I feel.
Yeah, sorry, I like mumbled on and on
No,
about the MLM, but yeah.
It's very interesting and also important, so other people
Yes.
don't get roped into that.
Yes.
But okay, so I have a few Reddit stories as well. Some of them do have to do with teaching English, but others are just general work things.
Okay.
But I think they're pretty interesting.
Yeah, I see one and I'm
Just
getting
the
mad
titles.
at the title. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Alrighty. The first one. Let me increase the size a little bit.
For my dolgang, for my
Yes.
bad
Feel
eyes.
free to scroll to read.
Okay. Oh, I'll read it? Sure.
Or should I read this one?
You can read whatever
Okay.
you want.
Alrighty. So this one is titled Quitting Teaching to Drive Trucks. The Good, the Bad, the Very Bad.
Okay.
Okay. I posted this on Japan Life as well, but I thought I'd post it here too for those who may have missed it. This is on r/Japan residents, by the way. So they say, another Redditor a while back posted about quitting English teaching to be a trucker. That post inspired me to apply for driving jobs. Despite many jobs claiming to help you get your truck license, I couldn't find any to even interview me. So I got my medium truck license on my own and have started applying. The good, there are loads of jobs out there. I only have N3 and the companies seem pretty fine with it since you'd mostly be by yourself. Tons of medium truck jobs, but even more big truck jobs. Ogata type. So the bad, I'm a bit countryside with a house, so I can't really move. Most jobs are well over an hour away from me. Many are within 30 minutes, except that city requires I either pay 2,000 yen round trip and tolls to drive there, or a 2-hour drive through dense city. So if you're near some port cities like Funabashi, Kawasaki, Yokosuka, Ichikawa, etc., they're in Kanto. These are like Chiba places, right?
Yeah.
Or Kanagawa as well. Tokyo area, Kanto. There are tons of jobs near port cities. Okay. The very bad, despite every job claiming 350,000 yen per month or more in salary, driving jobs tend to have a shit base pay of like 220,000 a month. The real money comes from working 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. So overtime. One company was super friendly, offered me a job on the spot, and claimed the salary would be around 390,000 a month, but that was a base pay of 220,000 and then 70 hours of overtime.
Jesus.
Working 23 days a month, and the commuting costs were way above what they were willing to pay for. Edit, to clarify, did not choose to accept this job.
Okay.
So if anyone else is interested in driving jobs, keep these in mind. Personally, I don't like working from the middle of the afternoon until night because I never see my kid. I want to spend as much time with my kid as possible. Some driving jobs do have the hours to support this, but have crap pay or are too far. I'm still job hunting, but I'm hoping to find some that's 5 days a week, matches or exceeds my current salary, and is fine with me being about an hour away. If any drivers out there have tips or info, that would be great.
Yeah. Were there any people with tips, or did he get a job in the end? I guess not. There's no edit, huh?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Some people are just like, oh, I'm just here to see your progress,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, if anyone's a truck driver out there for a good company, hit up this person in Reddit r/Japan residents. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but it looks like they deleted their account.
Oh no. Okay.
They'll never know.
Maybe they found a good job. That's why. That's what I hope
Hopefully.
at least. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but this was posted 2 months ago, so hopefully they found
very recent.
something in their salary range that's not too far from their house.
Yeah. I know we just went over like a list of all kinds of jobs that aren't teaching, but this is like a job I never would have thought of.
That's true, but
Truck driving, yeah.
I think this is also really in demand, but it's something that I don't know if they would give you a visa for this.
Oh, I see.
Because
it sounds
kind
like
of
he's married and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, this person might be on a spouse visa. They might have PR.
Yeah, that's true. Another job I saw that was like really on demand when I was kind of searching for jobs is a taxi driver.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you're interested in driving, kind of working alone, taxi driver might be a good thing too. But again, I don't know about the pay or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would love to talk to someone
right
who's a taxi driver. Okay.
Okay.
This one might get a bit frustrating.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's a little long.
Oh, it's a long one. All right.
I can read the update to give you a break.
Okay, sure. I'll try my best.
Okay.
So the title of this one is Dealing with Racism in School, under advice. I'm sure that my experience is not a unique one before coming here. I knew that Japan had their notions about Black people. But all the same, I've learned to generally ignore most of the things that I would consider borderline racist, or it could be outright at this point. I don't know. I'm an ALT at a junior high school. I'm there 4 days out of the week, so I see the students pretty often. I won't pretend like it's all bad. There are some great students that don't make you feel like an outsider. However, this school has some of the worst behaved students in the city. When I share some of my experiences with other ALTs, they're unable to relate in any way. My negative experiences started when these students were first years, and now that they're in second, some of them have gotten worse. They're a group of 7 boys. They were all in the same grade last year. They would make jokes about monkeys and gorillas and then look at me and laugh, which I've ignored, not really offended by that one. One of these students referred to me as Choco Gorilla, while the JTE, so this is a Japanese teacher of English, the Japanese teacher, was standing there and she didn't say or do anything, so I just ignored it. Fast forward to this year and they're all split up amongst the 3 second-year classes, and one student started calling me Gakko, which I figured was related to Gaikokujin, which I don't really have a problem with because I am, in fact, a foreigner. Since he started calling me this, the other group members have taken to start calling me other names. Today's newest is Choco Mommy and Big Mommy. I honestly don't know what to do because the school really doesn't do anything outside of talking to them, and their behavior doesn't change for more than a few days or weeks at best. Should I say something to the JTE that's in charge of my schedule and my dispatch company? Will anything come of it? If anyone has a similar experience, I would really appreciate if you shared how you dealt with it. Edit 1. I probably should have noted that I'm a female. I've seen a few responses that think I'm male. Do you want to read the update, or I can keep reading? Okay, I'll continue.
No, it's just pissed me off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll continue reading that now. So
okay.
They posted an update. They said, update. I spoke to my head English teacher today and she spoke to the other JTEs. They then spoke to the students and they've all denied the things they said, of course. Mm-hmm. One said he didn't say anything, but another said, in parentheses, it also they gave another name that apparently said racist things that I didn't know about. I only sat in on one student meeting and he was all red eyes and sniffles, said he's never said anything or seen me outside of class or in the halls or during a break. Honestly, I laughed as I'm with their grade the most. The main child said he didn't call me by name because he doesn't speak English. Then he proceeded to call me by my name during the meeting when asked does he call me, and he couldn't answer. I expressed that while I might ignore the behavior, others might not be, as it is very offensive. I touched on the fact that some of the things said might not have negative connotation in Japan, but in Western countries, it's a very negative slur for Black people. Moreover, they can say insults in Japanese, and I wouldn't understand, so to say things in English where I can understand they're obviously intentionally being rude. They have taken it very seriously. They're trying their best to get students to admit what they've done. The JTE said that they will have a student assembly to address these things. The HRTs, so homeroom teachers, will contact the students and parents, and then I guess from there, who knows. The boys mentioned being scolded to other students, and one came into class shouting, "Choco, choco, choco." He did it twice, and the JTE stopped the class and asked him why he's saying these things and told him to be quiet. So progress on them for being more aware. The JTEs have all apologized, and I've told them that it's not their fault, but I expect to receive the same respect that I give to the students. They don't need to like me, but they should respect the dynamic.
Okay.
Done.
So when I found this story, there was not an update.
Okay.
So I'm at least glad that the other teachers the Japanese English teachers, teachers of English, at least they took it seriously.
Yeah.
I was not expecting
relieved.
them to, honestly.
Yeah, unfortunately, like that's the thing too. When these cases do happen, more times, and the school unfortunately might not do anything, or they might really try their best to like brush it off and say they're going to do something and then no action happens, especially because these positions and ALT positions, they're contract based, which means depending on the company and the school and the need and all that stuff, the person, aka the ALT, is probably not going to be there permanently, maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years max. And so a lot of times when this stuff happens, schools really try to be like, ooh, sorry, yokunai ne, that's not good. And then they'll just like drag it out to the end till you leave, or they'll just like move you to another school, which kind of, I personally feel like delays the problem. It doesn't solve the problem, because, they're not getting rid of, well, you can't get rid of the students, but they're not like making the students responsible. They're just kind of like moving the ALT away. So I'm really, really relieved to see that these teachers tried to hold the students accountable for their actions, right? They had an assembly and everything.
Yeah. And then in the update, they said about the one teacher stopping the class when they heard a kid
they
say
stopped
that,
the class when the kid said, chuckle,
nice.
and they asked them, like, what are you doing? Why are you saying that?
Yeah.
So.
That's good.
That's good.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah. We see a comment here.
Yeah. One of the top comments, as a Black English teacher, it's going to take some time to find the right school and classroom culture that you can thrive in. I'd look for employment elsewhere. Not worth your dignity and self-respect. There are some great schools, but it takes work to find them. Even if you find a better school even better if you find a school that already has some Black teachers there, don't stay and be disrespected. Non-Blacks aren't going to relate to you. You just have to take action to remove yourself from these types of circumstances. Wish you the best and protect your mental health and well-being out there.
Yeah. I would say that's the best advice, probably. Although I am really proud of OP for not taking that bullshit and addressing it to their fellow teachers and things. So I really hope it did get better.
We need to talk to the students about this kind of thing. Like, they're not going to know it's wrong if you don't. They're going to keep
doing it, and then who knows, like, if the next ALT, right, is going to come in, and who knows if they're going to do the same thing to them. So
yeah, that's true.
Oh man, that's so frustrating.
This was also 2 months ago, so hopefully it's getting better. Maybe they found a new job,
maybe you just found a new job. Yeah,
they did their best.
Yeah.
The next story is also very frustrating.
Okay.
It is titled, "My Boss is Regulating the Food That I Buy."
What?
I'm not really sure where to post this. Delete if not allowed. I was given a serious ultimatum. Change my shopping habits or risk losing my job. My time in Japan spans 4 years, starting with a big English school and later moving to a small company in a rural town. This school happens to be the only one of its kind in the area, and I stand out as the first non-Asian resident in years, with most other teachers coming from Southeast Asia. Things took an interesting turn when a group of my friends from Tokyo decided to stay with me for a few days during the summer break. Wanting to be a good host, I went shopping for them, picking up meat, beer, cheese, and snacks from the local market. I didn't think too much about it, just enough for 5 people for a few days. But the story gets more complicated when I went back to work. My boss, who is also the school owner, called me in for a meeting. She showed me photos taken of me while I was shopping, claiming they were taken by relatives of students. What caught their attention was the junk food and alcohol in my cart. She told me that if I really needed to buy those items, I should do it online, since I represent the school at all times. I tried to defend myself, especially since this was during the summer break, but my boss cut me off and warned me sternly that if this happens again, I'd be fired on the spot. If I had enough money saved, I would quit, but I just spent a lot on a plane ticket home this winter. This practice isn't normal, is it?
No.
There's no way this is legal, right?
No, it's not normal.
No.
I know, like, money is an issue, so I'm not going to say, like, just quit, but also, like, if you can, as soon as you can, leave. What the hell? That's crazy.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Photos of your shopping?
Well,
what?
One of the top comments, if they fire you, lawyer up. It also goes without saying that covertly taking photos of people shopping is a violation of privacy and stalking.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
Yeah.
That is so
That is not
gnarly.
normal.
I mean, I've worked in like a small rural town and I've run into students at the supermarket before while shopping, but like no one has taken a photo of me. Like, what?
Yeah, but they have no control over the things you do
outside of
work.
school. Also, it like, I mean, if you were
and
to have a reason,
nothing is illegal either.
Nothing is
buying
illegal.
Snacks and beers.
And like you said, I mean, it shouldn't matter, but it was also summer vacation. It's not like you're like going to school the next day or whatever, teaching the next day. Like, which also shouldn't matter anyway. But what? What?
I hope they quit.
Yeah, I hope you quit. I hope you left. And how long ago was this? A year ago? And there's no like updates or anything.
their account.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, the account's not deleted.
Oh, and this is an r/teaching in Japan, by the way. That is so gnarly.
No,
I don't see like
that's their only post.
What they expect. Like, how small is this town? Like, what do they expect? Because again, in my personal experience, when I would like go out with fellow teachers too, by the way, we wouldn't like have parties only at school where no one would see us. Like, we would go to like restaurants and stuff too, which involved alcohol. And yeah, it's a small town.
That's a very
Sometimes students
normal,
were
like,
there. It's just, it
work
is
thing.
what it
Yeah.
is. You're like, it's outside of work. It's after hours. Like, what? Like, so no, that is so not normal. And that is so not okay. So yeah. Sorry, that like blew my mind.
Yeah.
These 2 stories in a row, like our last story we read and this one, I'm like getting really heated. Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with people?
This next one is frustrating, but not to the level that the others
Okay.
two are. But I think it's still important.
Okay, so the title is My Boss Says I'm Breaking the Contract by Handing in My Notice. Advice: having a tough time with my boss who owns a small eikaiwa. I have handed in my notice to start another job. She keeps saying I'm breaking the contract. Perhaps I am, but I feel like I'm being reasonable. My contract says a minimum of 8 weeks notice must be given. The leave date must be convenient for the school and will be decided by the school. I've given 10 weeks, and my last day being the last day of our working week, but I have a fixed start date with my next employer. I told them about the 8 weeks and they allowed 10. I told her this and I told her I'm leaving on a certain day. She's not having it, saying that it is impossible to find someone in 10 weeks due to visas, etc. That's her problem. Like,
Yeah. But the reason I wanted to read this one is because even 8 weeks, that's not
that's
a
such a
legally
long
binding
time.
thing. They can put that in their contract.
Yeah.
But by labor laws, 2 weeks is normal.
Yeah.
You could give them 2 weeks. And if your employer tries to withhold your last paycheck because you didn't give them enough notice, if you have proof of it, you can bring it to the labor standards, the labor board, and you can like essentially sue them to get that last paycheck back.
I don't know. I think you're very reasonable. 10 weeks.
10 weeks is
it's a long
plenty of time.
That's over 2 months. It's
Yeah.
2.5 months. And if they can't find someone, then it's kind of on them. I don't know. Like, how small is the school where they can't find anyone with 2.5 months notice? I mean, if everything went smoothly, I don't know if they're like bringing someone in from overseas or hiring, domestic, but it technically only takes mostly 6 weeks max to, what do you call, like renew a visa or like handle visa stuff. So I don't know what that visa excuse is either.
Yeah, so 10 weeks is enough time.
That's enough time.
Hi. One of the top comments: you gave longer notice than stipulated in the contract. Your boss is just annoyed they have to find someone new. There's no law that will let them keep you prisoner until December. And then somebody replied, take it to the labor office and watch how fast she shuts up.
Yeah.
But also, I forgot to mention for the previous story, if that person, like with the boss who's trying to regulate what they're doing outside of work, if they tell them to put it in writing, and they won't, because if you showed that to the labor board, they'll get in trouble. Yeah,
that's like so messed up, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's anything sketchy going on, put it in writing.
Yeah. What she said.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's our...
That's
how we're going to end the episode.
Interesting.
But,
yeah, we ended on a very heated note, but
a motivational note.
Yeah.
Get it in writing.
Yeah, very true. Okay. Anything else before we end?
No, this episode was long.
Yes, it is. Thank you. If you made it to the end, thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes. All right. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.